What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Yakatees. This is your review for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 1. I forget the episode. It will definitely be in the title. But this is the reunion, Part 1. I took, for the most part, detailed notes towards the end. Not so much. But rather than talk about everything, I'm really going to talk about the things that really matter. Because this, I don't know what we're going to get from Parts 2 and Part 3. I don't. But this is giving me that feel of how they should have done Real Housewives of Atlanta. I believe season 1 was, if not one, episodes 2. I believe New Jersey was 1 or 2. I don't necessarily think they gave us enough, and a lot of this is just certain filler questions that don't really lead to anything. Like Andy asking about the 2 thumbs up. Nope, nobody really cares about that. So I'm gonna try to figure out what was important, what wasn't important. Let me see. Don't care about that. So one thing I will talk about is Mary was asked about her hair, and she was asked, "Are there no black hairstylists in Salt Lake City?" And she said no, and she tried to get her hair, her normal hairstylist. It wouldn't work, so she just resorted to wearing wigs, which is understandable. But sweetheart, trust me when I say, well, there is a will, there is a way. Here comes the shade. You could have went and used some of that tithe and money and flew out somebody to come fix your scalp. But that's all right, Mary. That's all right, baby. We here for you. So Wendy is asked about the whole swinger and polygamy statement that she made about the show. She said there is no polygamy, but there's definitely swingers that exist there. Um, I'll just ask it now because I don't want to ask. I'll, she was asked who she was swinging with. She said Meredith. And like, what couple was she swinging with? She said Meredith, but she truly just said Meredith. She want to talk about her. Heather says, Mormon 2.0 with the whole swinger thing. Whitney and Lisa don't agree because for them it's not a thing. That's because, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, both of them are still Mormons and Heather isn't. So obviously there's going to be that tension there. Don't really care. Um, Meredith is asked about Jigsaw's comment on Brooks' fashion line. She felt like, it was picking. Now, Jigsaw says she didn't feel as if she was picking, but pretty much it's one item. It's not a fashion line. It's just one item. And Meredith says, what you said is an actual factual. It is not a fashion line. Yes, it is truly, in fact, just one particular item. But the way that it came off, it did not come off as being warming, which it did not. It came off as being so shady. And then she even says that you haven't been kind to her son when it comes to the social media posts. So they argue over where things was or wasn't posted. And then the whole question of, was Brooks upset about the whole seeing of the vagina and even that being referenced on social media? Answer was yes. And the whole thing of if he had ever seen a vagina, which was doubling down the fact that Brooks is gay. So to say, I wonder if he's ever seen a vagina. This is one of the things where Jigsaw, this one doesn't concern you, and two, this, what I hate about stuff like this, I understand how the reality TV show game goes. I understand how the confessional thing goes. But when you have your relationship that doesn't seem too stable, that seems like it's more on the respirator than Meredith's situation, where you have that and the things dealing with your children and whatnot. And I'm not talking about your children, but I'm just saying, with everything that you have going on within that dynamic, you need not worry about what Meredith's son has or hasn't seen. Because this is one of those where, if Meredith really wants to, season 2, she can sit here and flip that mirror on you and go in and let half when it comes to your children. And I guarantee you think he was a nervous wreck this season. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do my best to not give Jigsaw the blues that much. Probably not this particular review. Maybe in the latter two. I know Terrence is gonna sit here and do your boy justice. So y'all want a good old nasty roasting session. Alexander Rogers, Bonnie Blue, and giving you the real tea is gonna sit here and give you what you need, baby. So Jigsaw is asked about throwing a party and making it about her. or whether she was self-absorbed or whatever. She says that she wasn't self-absorbed. She thought it was having fun. But here's the reality: if you're throwing a party for someone else, unless you are truly one of those people where it's not about you, in essence, it's going to somewhat become about you because you have this plan and you want this and this and that, and you are wanting a certain reaction out of the birthday girl or whoever the party is surrounded around. So it's one of those that is natural, but this came off as you truly is making it about you and your culture. um Meredith says that she was mostly upset because the party was actually on Lisa's birthday. She and Lisa's birthday are one day apart, and she felt that if Jigsaw could not make the party about the both of them, seeing as how the party is actually on Lisa's birthday, to just do it at a completely separate date, which that's something that I completely understand. I was kind of thrown back because I normally do front and back, and on this page I did not write anything on the back. That's the only one I did that for. Weird. So Lisa didn't like how Heather treated her, being dismissive. Mary says it appears that Heather was being a little bit standoffish with the whole, kind of having, your back to it and everything. And in seeing that scene at the party, somewhat. Um, and Lisa tells Heather to stop talking so she can talk, but never gave this energy to Jigsaw. And it's so interesting that in terms of demeanor, it seems that Lisa has taken on the essence of Jigsaw, and Jigsaw somewhat has taken on the essence of Lisa. And it is so weird because I'm really trying to figure out if you have all this energy for um was it Whitney they were talking about? Heather, why don't you have the same energy when you talking to Jim? Whatever. So, all right. So I'm gonna just try to get through this right quick. So Heather being a good time, girl comes up, and whether or not if they did or if they didn't know each other, Heather whole thing is for you to not know me like that. How would you know? Lisa said she had a friend that gave her an anecdote, and that said she was doing this and doing that. And Heather's like, well, I don't know that person. And then Lisa thinks, well, I can call him. And here's one of those things. Here's the thing, y'all. When you operate within certain groups, when it comes to stuff like communities and college, like I'll give you an example. Army, MOS. I'm under the umbrella of aviation. I'm a 15 Quebec, which is an air traffic controller. When you get to those 15 series, whether it's a controller, a Quebec, a Papa, a Zulu, when you get to these, they tend to shrink. Like the UAS community, which if I remember correctly, is that a Zulu? No, it's not a Zulu. I believe whiskey. I believe 15 whiskey. The UAS community is real small, but with the Papas and the Quebecs, we're just as small. So it's one of those where you may not necessarily know somebody, but trust me, you know somebody that knows somebody because the community is that small. It makes me when I'm on Facebook and I see two people that I know and they're interacting, I'm just like, damn, I didn't even know y'all knew each other. Like it's like that. So in this instance, especially with them being Mormons and whatnot, the communities is small. So so they're doing this back and forth. And Andy says, okay, we're going to move on. And Lisa says, oh, no, we're not going to move on, Andy. And Andy just kind of takes it on the chin. And I hate seeing shit like this. Because Andrew will let, and yeah, we're going there, will let the European American housewives tell him how he going to run his reunion. Will sit here and physically put their hands on him. Will sit here and direct how things are going to go and tell him what we're not going to talk about. You're not going to ask me that, this, that, and the third, but you will never allow the African American housewives to give you that same energy. You will never. They can sit here and stun on you about how much they have, how much their husbands have, but when one of the African American housewives want to sit here and stun on what they have and what they bring to the table, you not gonna go in on them like that. The only housewife that I've seen him not do that to is, gosh darn it, why can't I remember her name? Fancy. Damn it. I'm gonna just call her Fancy. He ain't going down that road with Fancy. But he's at least a little bit smart, damn it. So Whitney, so questions as to Whitney, how did you feel seeing Lisa's comment on the whole stripper pole thing? Do you think she's jealous? And she's like, do I think she's jealous? No. But do I think that she thinks she's better than me? Yes. So there's a whole lot of that, going back and forth. And then Lisa brings up, well, you twerking at in front of Sharif wasn't a good thing. And who was it that said it? Heather says, but who did you do your split in front of? Now, this was some unseen footage. And granted, it didn't really mean nothing for nothing, but okay. We only seeing it because they said it at the reunion, but it was made a big of a deal. And she dropped a whole split in front of Sharif, but okay. And Mary, you're supposed to be. So Mary said, blah. Mary's. The question is asked to Mary. For you to be such a fascination, what was that green loofah sponge that you was wearing? And she said, hey, I like it. It's my style. Most women, can't even pull it off. You can't pull it off. But she was saying that she is small enough to fit it. Cool, whatever. Mary loves it. So now we get the jigsaw package. So Heather is emotional by seeing the package because she had just lost her father in April. We also find out that Mary has also lost her father. She seems to be in good spirits, would lead me to believe that she truly hasn't. I'm not gonna. It feels like she hasn't truly tapped into it, but we don't know the exact time of when her father passed. I know for Heather, it was still somewhat fresh. So I don't know. I'm not gonna psychoanalyze that. Whatever. Um, Let me see. Jigsaw does about her cosmetic searches. We don't care. She's asked about her four assistants. Why did she need them? What do they do? Don't care. She asked about her businesses. What I was able to ascertain from that is they have a business to where they're responsible for the things that pop up and bring a business to other companies. So almost, how you be sitting here thinking, or you might say like, damn, I wish I had this, or man, that thing right there look popping. Then the next thing you know, you go to your social media and now you starting to see ads, or you go on your internet and you starting to see ads for the same shit you was just thinking about, that type of shit. Well, get your money. It was mentioned that her husband isn't a head coach, so couldn't he take off? But she brings up a good point that if he was the head coach, it could be easier for him to move stuff around. But it's the assistant coach that does a lot of work. Again, I don't know sports. I can't talk about that. But one thing I will say is I know with the military, granted, leave and all the other stuff is completely different. But when it comes to structure, I'm not going to say seniors don't work, but seniors can delegate work to, their subordinates. And that's all I'm going to say. If you are or was a senior non-commissioned officer or I'm not finna be messing like that. Moving on. So she's asked if Sharif missing the funeral hurt the relationship. She said yes, but she knows this is what she signed up for. There are certain industries where people work. You know what it is going into it. You marry a service member that's in any branch of the military. One, depending on the branch of the military, would depend on how long they're going to be going, and then depending on what their actually job specialty is going to really depend on whether or not they won't be there. You know what you signed up for, so you can't marry somebody that is in a profession already and then expect for things to just be built to your will. It's like you knew what you were getting into, though the spouse or the other spouse should make attempts to, make things work a little bit better. But again, you know what you signed up for. So she knows that. Andy asked if something had happened that made it so that she couldn't talk to Sharif because he seemed so level-headed, so calm, and so endearing and encouraging. She talks around it for a second, but then she just says, no, it's not that. But when he only comes home for one day, I don't want to sit here and unload on him. And I've had this type of relationship with my girlfriend. She wouldn't unload on me, yet I was unloading on her, which I felt was kind of strange, but she didn't want to bombard me with what she's doing as a civilian. I'm in the military, so meh, I get it. I understand it. I don't really think it's all. I'll just say I understand it. Damn it. All right, talk about that. So Jigsaw's tantrums come up, and does she think she's setting a good example? She says she goes through a lot, and she's not proud. Okay, ma'am, you in your 40s. Like real talk, you in your damn 40s. You gonna need to accept some responsibility. And now that you have the money to get certain privileges that many of us melanated people don't have the luxury of having, just in general, certain avenues that have opened themselves up to you, you need to use that money and fix yourself, sweetheart. I don't fuck with you like that, Jigsaw, but you really, Jen, I'm gonna be nice. Jen, take what you have, work on yourself. Because you can't be in your 40s displaying this type of behavior. And at the same exact time, what you are displaying on television is not going to help you in the long run, especially if you stay on this show for the upcoming seasons. And since you want to be the queen bee, woo, it's going to be a rocky roller coaster. Um, and Andy says, "Are you always temperamental?" And she says, "Not like that." So you are. And Mary says she feels that she is when it comes to her. Her name is a trigger. Lisa disagrees. And my thing is, but Lisa, who asked you? Now I understand it's a reunion and people tend to jump in, this, that, and the third. But what I don't like is when it's two people that are clearly talking, let them talk. And I feel that when certain people interject, a lot of the time it's because they know one of the two people don't have the vocabulary, the aptitude, the mental capacity, the wherewithal to be able to answer that question and deal with that conversation. So you're jumping in to be Captain Save Ho. Don't do that. And Mary says she asked her why her name is a trigger. And Lisa said to her, she doesn't know, but it happens every single time. So for Mary, it's just like, you sitting here trying to defend her, but you said you understand it. You just don't know why it happens. And then Mary asked the girls if they agree. And Whitney says she agrees 100% that her name is a trigger for Jigsaw. Heather agrees. Did I say that? Whitney agrees. Heather agrees. Heather is asked if she ever got an apology for being screamed at the 20s party when she was trying to help this drunk heifer into the car. She said no, and Jen gives a real quick, "I'm sorry for that." And all of everybody felt something different. Andy whole thing is, okay, it's been a year, so it didn't come off as being endearing. Heather whole thing is because she didn't use sentence enhancers as she normally does, it didn't come off as being genuine. I was just sitting there just like, that was a dry ass. I just want to say I'm sorry, so I can move the fuck on apology, but she been doing a lot of those lately. Um, I said that already. And Heather says that she's always going to be a good friend, even if someone's treating her like that. And Mary's whole thing is you need a friend that's going to be a good friend to you. You need someone that pretty much is going to reciprocate what it is that you give into them. Because Mary's low-key saying, I don't want you being a doormat, baby. Did I say this already? Right, so we come back to... hold on, wait. I feel like I'm... Okay, so Jigsaw says to Mary, maybe you should take your own advice. And Mary says she doesn't want to be friends with her. As much as you may or may not like Mary, Mary was getting them together for the majority of this. For whatever reason, they not coming for Mary. I don't know why. Especially given the fact that y'all talked a lot of ish and didn't address it during the season. This is the perfect opportunity. Put y'all in her, shut y'all down, but I'm here for it. So Jigsaw married the kids and the whole vagina gate comes up. Jigsaw says that Brooks wasn't upset with her showing her vajayjay. He was upset because you were smoking in the house. Now, when that came off, I got pissed. Because first and foremost, I understand that Brooks is an adult. He ain't grown. Now, Meredith, baby, if you watching this, you can correct me on this and get me together. But to my understanding, he ain't paying no damn bills. So if you ain't paying that goddamn bill in set house that you are living in for free, you can't sit here and if I want to sit here and smoke a cigarette, I can smoke a cigarette. I don't care if you got to smell the cigarette smoke between you getting up the stairs and you getting to your damn room. This is my house, not your house. But it's one of those, I understood her bringing that up because it's like, okay, well, I need to prove my point. So that's why he was mad. And Meredith was just like, no, that isn't it. And she's upset with her attacking her son online and even call him white privilege. I didn't feel like sending it from my phone to my computer to upload it, but I'm gonna just read. And it's the real Jen Shaw, and this is at Reality Bitch. Are you serious? I never went spread eagle. It's completely insane to me that not only did you all see I didn't, but because a white privileged family tells you I did, you somehow think I sis something. I guess said something wrong. Whew, like I know we sometimes type real quick, but when you a public figure like that, come on now, prove read your shit. So the white privilege part was something that upset Meredith. Now, with how that was written, yeah, that was kind of out of line. But is Brooks somewhat white privilege? Yeah. Because for you to sit here, mind you, this is a show. So I understood why his jogging, his tracksuit was displayed during this fashion week or whatever it was. But it's because of the access that your parents have that you were able to have this. Because if it was any other person, especially a disenfranchised person, the chances of a big thing like that displaying a one piece something, it's very, very slim. Very, very slim. But okay, whatever. But this is also one of those, yes, so kind of why is Jigsaw, even referring to that young man? You're doing too much. Um, Meredith reveals that Jigsaw records people without their consent, more or less her videotaping her smoking. Jigsaw denies this. I believe it. I think this is one of those where she probably was saving it for Mad Day. She probably didn't release it only because of the simple fact that Bravo will be on that ass. So Andrew asked why she invited her to sleep over, and she was like, I didn't invite her to sleep over. And this was when she showed her virginity. She was like, she passed out on my bed. They argue over whether it did or didn't happen. Who the fuck cares? Andrew asks if the women sympathize with Jigsaw knowing what she's going through. Heather says we all have, and Mary with the quick is like, yes, y'all all do. I laugh because you just like, I ain't got no sympathy for the whole. I understand, and look, I'm one of those where I'm cold. I'm a blunt, sarcastic, stubborn, uncompromising asshole. Those are positive yet extremely negative qualities about me. Those that I allow to get to know me, I'm very warm. I'm very caring. I truly put others before myself, and like I said, my military career can speak for that shit. But when I don't fuck with you no more, I don't fuck with you no more. I'm gonna give y'all just a snippet because I know this review is already long, but I was doing a rotation and my platoon leader, really wasn't helping me. And I had told him before we went there, like, look, man, a year ago in this time frame, my father had passed away. I'm still working through a lot of those emotions, so I may not always be, here to deal with things. And the CTC, a rotation, is very stressful. I told him that, like, let him know, like, if you see me slipping a little bit, just can you cover down for me? Because we've worked together before when he was enlisted. He said yes, and this man had a surgery done. I ain't finna go too deep into that, but I'm asking him every day, you good, you good, you good? Yeah, you ain't even asking me, like, dude, how you holding up? And after that, I just said, when I tell you I ain't give a fuck about him, what the hell was going on, I don't. I'm one of them, like, I care for you, I care about you. Once you do me dirty, I don't give a fuck about what is going on with you. The most I may do is I might say a little prayer for you, and I'm gonna keep it the fuck moving. Where did I leave off at? Let me see. Mary says she understands, and I don't even remember what I wrote there. So I guess what was it? Mary says she understands and run to Jigsaw. Oh, sorry. So she understands and how the women they run to Jigsaw, but they don't even come for her. So y'all understand what she's going through yet, and y'all can understand why she's such a vile person. But y'all can't understand me. But y'all run to her when she's in the midst of her BS. But you can't run to me. Lisa says, she felt that was snarky, and she can be both. Fuck out of here. Mary tells Lisa, you are so quick to jump in. Worry about yourself. Look, y'all, she giving the church mother, reads, and I'm here for it. So we get the Lisa package. She's asked about what would happen if her kids had an emergency and someone was trying to call her. Does your ambitions outweigh your children? She begins to cry because she says that's the one thing that will bring her to tears is her children. They have a nanny, there's a doctor that's on standby, this and the third. And I feel that this was her way of weaponizing her tears to where I don't even want us to go down this road. Can we pick something else? Okay. All right. And I'm gonna just leave that all the way alone. um I already said that about the swinger thing. Lisa's asked about her better than thou attitude. She says she won't change. And Mary says, she comes off as, being snobby. Whitney tells her when she's talking, she may not think that she's being rude, bitchy, shady, or whatever, but it lands and it happens. And they're trying to sit here and give her a critique on you may see yourself as perfect, but there are things that you can work on to become a better person. Lisa's not trying to hear that. Mary addresses Lisa saying, she takes what she says with a grain of salt. Jigsaw tries to cut in and she says, I'm sorry. So she tries to jump in. Mary lets her know I'm not talking to you, and then continues talking. And Mary says she doesn't make people feel less than. Jigsaw says that's what Jigsaw no. Lisa says you do. Mary says who? Lisa says Jigsaw. She was like who else? And then she says people at your church. She's like don't bring up my church. I don't bring up your liquor. You don't bring up my church. Like let's not do that. But because it was showed on TV, it is kind of fair game, Mary. It is fair game, baby. Um. So Mary asks the girls, does she make them feel less than? Heather says no. Whitney had a pause there, but before she could say it, Lisa says that's because you are too busy kissing her ass. Heather says Mary is honest, sometimes harsh, but never mean. And she was kind of like, I'm gonna say it, but I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. So I don't know. Maybe Mary is, cracking the whip on the girls. Okay, I'll be right back. Y'all give me 1 second. Okay. Let's see. Where did I leave off at? Crap. I hate when I do that. I'm so sorry, y'all. I had to use the bathroom. So Meredith feels that Lisa can, say the same thing to her that she says to Whitney with say the same way, with the same tone, but because they have different dynamics, Whitney is going to take it differently. But here's the thing, though that may be true, and there's two different dynamics that y'all have, it doesn't negate the fact that, because here's how I take it. Meredith is used to dealing with BS, and there's only so much she'll take before she'll be like, hold the hell on. Whitney ain't got it to do. So, and again, I understand it, which is like, you may talk to everybody the hell else like this. You not finna talk to me like that. And if you want this relationship to either blossom or continue to grow, you either going to adjust how you speak to me, or I'll make the decision for you, and I'm gonna just cut the communication because you're not gonna talk to me like you crazy. So though I be here for Meredith, I wasn't here right there when he says she can pay. So the whole bar thing comes up, and not Whitney. Lisa says that the bartenders were contractors, pretty much trying to make the claim that when Whitney said what she said, that was why she was taking the dig. But it's like, if you recommended them this, that, and the third, this is still bad for you because you work. Now, I don't know if she recommended them or if she hired them to work for her. But still, if that's not a representation of your company, that's a representation of you as a businesswoman. You don't recommend piss poor people to sit here and do nothing. Now, one thing that Whitney said is the whole purpose. She was like, look, I can buy my own bar. I was doing this because I wanted, to show women empowering women, put your brand out there to, I guess, her group of friends, and extend the olive branch. And Lisa's like, well, you didn't say that in the text message. And she, pulls out, a receipt and says, you want to pass this around? And he comes to read it. She's like, well, it's kind of blurry. And Annie's just like, yeah, I can't read this. So yeah, she brought a bad Xerox copy. Whitney, I was trying to be there for you, but I couldn't. But what low key she was saying is, we don't know each other. So this is me trying to sit and extend this olive branch for the show. She didn't say that, but that's what she was trying to say. She just knew that she couldn't say that. Whew. Okay, and let me go ahead and finish this up right quick. So Lisa's saying that the message didn't say that. I already said that. Heather says this is not a Whitney and Heather So, okay, so she's saying to her how the public is seeing you because apparently Lisa got a lot of DMs. She's like, this isn't a Heather and this isn't a Heather and Whitney thing. How we feel about you is how we feel about you. What America's coming at you for is what you already put out there. Now, it was a whole lot of back and forth, back and forth. I want to write all that shit down. But Lisa is allowed to speak, but she won't let others speak. I'm sorry, but she speaks over people. I've already said that. Lisa doesn't like how Heather portrayed her in the media, more or less as being a bad mother and a bad person, with the illusion that, you don't cook, but, you take your kids to get fast food and this, that, and the third. All of that will be picked up. I'm not going to sit here and tell nobody how to sit here and provide food for their children. I'm not going to do that. I'm not. If that's her way of parenting, that's her way of parenting. All right, but that's it. That's all I got. I'm about to lose my voice. So I hope you guys enjoy this review. I don't know if I'm going to be this detailed, especially with the show coming on so late in the evening, and then we get Jersey coming back next week. What I will say is I know for that myself and really be haven't worked out the logistics, but we will be doing I guess it's her review when she would normally just do her tribe meetings, or it might be earlier. We're still trying to figure out the time, so I'll still give you guys my review, but I'll be doing it with her because she hasn't seen all the other seasons and I've already binge watched it, so I'll be there to kind of help fill in the gaps and really kind of help guide the conversation. So we'll see how it all plays out. So tomorrow is what? Thursday. So tomorrow I'll be doing my growing up hip hop. And yeah, and look, right now again, it's 11:14 right now, so I'm about to end this. So if it does seem like I'm tired. Okay, it's been a long day. But that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.